Click the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to never miss another update.
The city of Medina eagerly awaited the birth of a child from the pure lineage of the Prophet. In the house of Imam Musa Kadhim alayhi salam, the atmosphere was filled with anticipation. His wife, Lady Najma alayhi salam, counted the days awaiting the arrival of their child. Finally, the wait was over. On the 1st of Zulqa'dah in the year 173 AH, Allah blessed the 7th Imam with a daughter. The newborn, radiant and beautiful, brought joy to the house, a reflection of the Imam's purity. The birth of the new baby filled everyone's hearts with happiness. After the Imam, no one was more overjoyed than his wife Lady Najma. After 25 long years, this was the second child I had been blessed with. 25 years ago, in the same month of Zulqa'dah, Lady Najma had given birth to a son, who would be the 8th Imam and lead the Shias after his father. Yes, it was in the year 148 AH that Imam Rada alayhi salam was born. Lady Najma had celebrated his arrival as her firstborn, and now, years later, Allah had blessed her and Imam Kadhim alayhi salam with a daughter, a sister to Imam Rada. This daughter was the apple of their eyes. Imam Kadhim, out of his deep love and reverence for Hazrat Fatima Zahra alayhi salam, named his daughter Fatima. As time passed, people began to call her Massoma, the innocent, for she, like her father, was free from sin and evil. The name Fatima held deep meaning within the family of the Prophet. It was a name filled with bittersweet memories of Hazrat Fatima Zahra. Whenever a child was named after the beloved daughter of the Prophet, the family would take special care to honor and protect them, never showing disloyalty or neglect. Imam Kadhim cherished his daughter dearly, never withholding his affection, and chose the name Fatima with the utmost respect and love. As Hazrat Fatima Massoma alayhi salam grew, she thrived under the nurturing care of her parents. From them, she absorbed knowledge and wisdom. Her father, the Imam of the Shias, was unmatched in his piety and purity, while her mother, a devout and faithful woman, had learned Islamic teachings and principles from the wife of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Hazrat Najma was regarded as one of the most distinguished women of her time. So growing up in such a household, Hazrat Fatima Massoma benefited greatly from the presence of her virtuous father, scholarly mother, and her brother, Imam Rada. By the time she became a teenager, she had acquired a profound understanding of Islamic knowledge. One day, a group of Shias traveled to Medina to ask their religious questions to Imam Kadhim. However, the Imam was away and Imam Rada was also not present. The visitors were disheartened as they feared they would have to return home without the answers. When Hazrat Fatima Massoma learnt of this, she took their written questions and provided responses to each one of them. The Shias were overjoyed with the answers and left Medina for their homeland. On their way, they encountered Imam Kadhim outside the city. After presenting the answers Hazrat Fatima Massoma had given, they praised her knowledge and wisdom. Imam Kadhim, delighted, remarked, "May her father be sacrificed for her." During the reign of oppressive rulers, the descendants of the Prophet endured constant persecution. Lady Fatima Massoma alayhi salam, with a pure and compassionate heart, found solace in her devoted brother Imam Rada alayhi salam, who brought peace to her and their family amidst the hardships they faced. The lifetime of Imam Musa Kadhim alayhi salam coincided with the rule of 5 tyrannical caliphs: Abu Abbas Safa, Mansur Dawanaqi, Hadi Abbasi, Mehdi Abbasi, and Harun Rashid, each of whom oppressed the family of the Prophet in their own ways. These rulers inflicted severe hardships on the Shia, subjecting them to persecution and cruelty. By the time Lady Fatima Massoma was born, 3 years had passed since Harun had seized power. Harun Rashid surpassed his predecessors in tyranny, ruling with greed and overindulgence in worldly pleasures. Imam Kadhim, unable to tolerate Harun's oppression of the Shias and betrayal of Islam, opposed the unjust regime through various means. Harun, who was fully aware of the resistance posed by the family of Imam Ali alayhi salam, especially Imam Kadhim, tried his best to suppress them. He paid poets to compose verses against the Prophet's descendants and incited people to curse them. Furthermore, Harun exiled, imprisoned, and brutally tortured many members of the Ahlul Bayt, martyring several after horrific suffering. Eventually, after consolidating his power, Harun ordered the imprisonment of Imam Kadhim. And this led to Lady Fatima Massoma being deprived of her father's presence during the last years of his life. At that time, she was less than 10 years old and was deeply distressed by her father's imprisonment. Like a burning candle, her heart ached from the separation and her tears flowed like rain. Unable to bear the sorrow of being apart from her beloved father, Imam Kadhim, too, felt great pain from being away from his children, especially Imam Rada and Lady Fatima Massoma. Although he found spiritual strength by filling the dark prison cells with the remembrance of God and transformed his suffering into sweetness through beautiful worship, the thought of his children left his heart heavy with sadness. Over the years, Imam Kadhim was transferred from one prison to another. For a time, he was held in the prison of Isa ibn Jafar, the governor of Basra, who was so moved by the Imam's piety and virtues that he resigned from his post. Harun then ordered the Imam to be transferred to Baghdad, where he was held under the custody of Fazl bin Rabi and Fazl bin Isa, and finally in the prison of Sindhi bin Shah. After the martyrdom of the 7th Imam, the mantle of Imamate passed to his son Imam Rada alayhi salam, who was 35 years old at the time. Along with becoming the spiritual leader of the Islamic Ummah, Imam Rada assumed responsibility for the guardianship of the Prophet's descendants, as per his father's directive. Despite the oppressive rule of Harun Rashid, Imam Rada fearlessly continued his divine mission, spreading truth and justice without pause. Though Harun oppressed many, he never dared to directly harm Imam Rada. After Harun's death in 193 AH, his son Amin succeeded him, only to be killed in a power struggle with his brother Ma'mun 4 years later. During this period of internal Abbasi conflict, Imam Rada seized the opportunity to guide and educate his followers. When Ma'mun ascended to the caliphate, he cleverly sought to secure his rule by aligning himself with the Shia, presenting himself as a scholar and publicly expressing his love for Imam Ali alayhi salam. But his real intent was to gain the loyalty of the Shia to protect his fragile position, and to this end he proposed that Imam Rada become his successor. And although Imam Rada firmly rejected this offer, Ma'mun kept persisting and kept asking. In 200 AH, Ma'mun sent Raja bin Abi Dhahak to Medina to escort Imam Rada to Mur, the seat of his government. The Imam, after visiting the Prophet's grave and bidding farewell to his family, including his beloved sister, Lady Fatima Massoma alayhi salam, reluctantly left Medina. The departure was a deeply sad moment for his family, especially for Lady Fatima Massoma, who found such solace in her brother's presence after the martyrdom of their father. Ma'mun, who feared rebellion, ensured that Imam Rada would not pass through any Shia strongholds like Kufa and Qum. But despite these precautions, wherever Imam Rada travelled, he was warmly welcomed by the people. In Nishapur, the people gathered around him, and the Imam narrated a famous hadith. The phrase, "There is no God but Allah," is my fortress. Whoever enters it will be safe from my punishment. He then added, but with the condition that you are a follower of the Ahlul Bayt. Upon arriving in Merv, Ma'mun again offered Imam Rada the position of successor, and after months of refusal, the Imam, who was under threat, reluctantly accepted on the condition that he would not be involved in the Caliphate's governance. Ma'mun agreed, marking a new chapter in Imam Rada's life under a deeply political maneuver of the Abbasid regime. A year had passed since Imam Rada alayhi salam had travelled to Merv. The Prophet's family in Medina had been deprived of seeing him, and their hearts ached with longing. Lady Fatima Massoma alayhi salam, like her siblings, was deeply affected by the distance from her beloved brother and found herself increasingly impatient to see him. It is said that during this time, Imam Rada sent a letter to his sister, delivered by a trusted messenger. The Imam instructed the messenger to deliver the letter directly to Lady Massoma without stopping along the way. It is not known what was written in the letter, but when she read it, Lady Massoma's desire to meet her brother intensified. She, along with several brothers and nephews, decided to embark on a journey to Merv to reunite with the Imam. The caravan set out from Medina with Lady Massoma at its heart. Accompanied by 5 of her brothers and a group of relatives, they traveled steadily, only stopping for prayer, rest, and nourishment. The journey across the harsh terrain of the Hijaz desert was very hard, made even more difficult by the threat of bandits. The travelers, however, pressed on with faith in God, hoping to reach their destination safely. As they crossed the barren landscape and drew nearer to Iran, the long journey began to take its toll on Lady Massoma. The physical exhaustion weighed heavily on her, but her determination to meet her brother kept her going. She often thought about Imam Rada, remembering their time together in Medina and the love that bound them. The thought of finally seeing him filled her with hope and strength. The caravan eventually reached the city of Saba, where Lady Massoma fell seriously ill. Weakened by the long journey, she could no longer continue. Faced with the reality of her condition, she made the decision to head towards Qum instead of continuing to Merv. When she asked how far Qum was, her companions informed her that it was only 10 kilometers away. Lady Massoma ordered the caravan to proceed towards the city. Qum, even in those days, was a stronghold for the Shia of the Prophet's family. The city had become a center for Shia Islam due to the migration of Shia Arabs from Kufa, who had fled Umayyad persecution years earlier. When the people of Qum heard that Lady Massoma had fallen ill in Saba, they eagerly went out to meet her. Musa ibn Khazraj, on behalf of the people, personally invited her to stay in Qum. Lady Massoma accepted their invitation, and Musa ibn Khazraj proudly led her camel to his home in Qum. The people of the city welcomed her with great honor, providing her and her companions with everything they needed. Musa ibn Khazraj and the people of Qum were overjoyed to host the sister of Imam Rada. offering her the comfort and care she needed after the long, grueling journey.